Alrighty, so we have the new Mael, and we're gonna go over the patch notes and everything. They did show him off and everything in the live stream, and he looks pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of his outfits particularly. I'm normally pretty excited about new outfits and stuff like that when they drop, but yeah, we have the new character and everything. If you'd like to go see that, I did a stream. You kind of just poke through it a little bit, but his animations and everything are pretty standard. I think his AoE skill actually looks kind of good, but the first skill is pretty much the same one that we saw in the story, which isn't great. His ultimate animation does look pretty good, though. But the really big kicker is that he is a light unit. I really didn't expect him to do a new light unit so soon after getting Escanor and Melee. But that's pretty interesting. So let's go over the actual character and the banner itself. So we have the new Mael. I do have the translations for it. My thing is going to be a little bit in the way here. Let me shrink down just a little bit. All right, but so these are from the 7DS Leaks Discord from Kane, who does a lot of their translating and everything like that. So pretty cool dude. But we have the passive, Judgment of Light, which is for every ally goddess hero on the field, increases the unit's all stats by 7%. Increases the damage, the unit's damage dealing by 10%. So for each goddess race ally, he's going to do an additional 10% damage dealt, and he's increasing all of his stats by 7%, which is pretty friggin' good. And if all allies on the field is goddess race, applies Sun's Brilliance to the allies. And Sun's Brilliance is basically like a gray buff that he's putting on himself and the goddess allies if everybody's one. Which is decreases damage taken by 20%, and then they become immune to stat decrease in PvP, which is pretty big. So they not only are immune to stat decrease, just like Escanor is, which kind of, it's not like a super hard counter to the demons, because a lot of the demons are like buffing up themselves, but there is a couple of stat reductions that the demons do, and you're going to get a little bit of use out of that for sure. So he also has a grace, which is pretty interesting. His grace is just literally increases damage by 20%, so it's just straight up damage increase, which I think could be pretty interesting. I'm interested to see people put this grace on Escanor and just use him to do even more damage than he's already dealing. So I don't know, we'll kind of have to see how that goes. His first skill is Sun Cutter, which is a single target 200% at level 3 with Blazing effect. And Blazing is for every Sun's Brilliance applied to the ally, increases damage by 30%. So I assume that you can only have one Sun's Brilliance on at a time, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't think, yeah, his ultimate doesn't give Sun's Brilliance or anything like that. So I guess it just has a 30% increased damage to it. So pretty standard stuff, I guess. Skill 2 is the debuff one, which is Solar Ray, AoE with Spike, so it does 2 times crit damage, and applies 1 Sunspot on the enemy for 2 turns. Sunspot is a new debuff that he applies, which is decreases the enemy's damage dealing by 20%, stacks up to 3 times, so you're making them do less damage to you as well, which is kind of strong. Pretty interesting there. Ultimate is Rising Sun, removes all stances, applies 3 sunspots for 2 turns, that's at level 3 I'm sure, and then 750% solar explosion damage, which is for every sunspot on the enemy increases damage by 50%, which is quite big considering that the ultimate at 6/6 is going to already apply 3 of those, depending on how many sun or solar rays you've done, so that you're putting on extra sunspots, you're going to be having even more. So I think he works a lot like Estarossa does, the festival Estarossa, which is kind of funny. Like, he's like literally like the opposite end, like the counterpart to him, literally as a character and as a unit. So you're going to be trying to put on as many sunspots as possible, and then I guess really only with the ultimate are you going to get like a huge increase. So in that way, maybe it's a little bit more like Festival Merlin in a sense, but very interesting character to say the least. So yeah, the banner itself, not super great. I'm not very impressed with the banner. We have a bunch of older units on here, of course. Only light unit or dark unit on the banner is just Light Liz. So no, I would have loved to have seen at least Traitor Melee on the banner, but I guess can't get that lucky. But we have her, we have Festival Esterosa, we have Festival Cusack, Festival Margaret, and Festival Zeldris. So not the greatest Fest lineup. I could still use copies of these two for sure. I could use copies of Liz, but she basically is the one getting replaced on the Goddess team at this point with the new Mael, so I don't know that I'll really even use the copies that I pull if I do. So that's kind of interesting. Banner is really big. A big problem with the banner is that you can see down here there's a couple of coin shop sins, a couple of coin shop commandments, blue Elat and blue Nanashi for whatever reason. Nanashi's fine. I'm okay with Nanashi because he recently got a relic that's actually good, so giving people the chance to pull him is nice. But other than that, you have a couple of demons. Ominous Nebula Zeldris is kind of nice because he's technically a seasonal character, so it's harder to pull him. But you have both Cusacks, both Chandlers, and then all of the old Archangel characters. So I don't know, not the greatest banner I've ever seen. There's way too much filler in here. Honestly, if they just stopped at this and just got rid of all of this filler except for maybe Nanashi, they would be way better. But the festival unit or festival banners always end up seeming to be like really packed, which I guess is either a good or a bad thing. I'm leaning more towards bad. Obviously, it's a 900 banner. They are doing a free banner, though, where you pull characters at UR level 90. But they're all pretty old, like pretty bad characters. So nothing super great there. If anything, they're kind of just going to be like either super awakening coins for you, or maybe you can use some of these characters. If you haven't gotten them like powered up, it could just power up some of your characters. So that way you don't have to worry about wasting materials on them. So that could be kind of nice. Yeah, we're probably just going to skim through it. We're not going to do like an entire patch notes reveal or anything. I'd normally wait to do like a full read whenever they come out on Global, but we are getting a new chapter. They showed off a little trailer for that during the live stream, and we get to see Demon King Zeldris a little bit, which was kind of cool. We are getting, of course, new outfits from Mael. There's a new football outfit for Escanor, but it's with the new Hawk Pass. We are getting a coin shop festival coin shop thingy, but obviously there's no light or dark characters in here, so I guess pick whatever you want. New card set. Not exactly sure what the card set does. I haven't actually seen anybody translate this yet, but normally the card sets aren't super crazy. But another big thing is that we're getting 2 new relics, and one of them is Freya, which is pretty crazy considering she's not really, like, she's not been in the game that long, and I really figured that they would have given Freyr a relic before her. But we get a new relic for Freya, and we get one for Awakened Mono, which is pretty cool. The kicker being that Freya's relic is for Nidhogg, if I'm not mistaken, because it works for demonic beasts, and we have a rough translation, not a great translation, so take that with a grain of salt. But Freya's uses Nidhogg relic materials, which is unfortunate because it's really hard at the moment, and she's going to help with Nidhogg. And then Mono's uses the dog relics, so Skull and Hati materials. So this is, obviously, I don't like using translations like this because they're normally pretty bad, but it's pretty much all I have at the moment. I don't think anybody has actually done like a decent translation in any of the like leaks discords or anything like that. So we have Remnants of Hati, which is actually kind of a cool name. When you use a single target attack skill in Nidhogg Beast Battle, release the enemy's stance and deal damage to the enemy by using your skill to increase all allies' stats by 4% up to 5 times. So I'm assuming the reason why this has a stance cancel is because in phase 2 of Nidhogg, whenever you're fighting like the humanoid looking weird tentacle creature thing, if you use stance cancel skills on that enemy, it gets rid of his like damage reduction stacks. So that will help a lot with that, I guess. And you're obviously getting a stat increase, which is of course really good. Also, if all allies participating in the battle are goddesses, your attack-related abilities will increase by 10% for each goddess ally affected by skill. So, very interesting. I think one of the other translations was saying that she becomes goddess race, like that she gains like temporary goddess race or whatever. I guess kind of like Sigurd's passive does, where he's known as a demon or a human. I don't know exactly how this is going to work. I need a better translation for this one for sure. But definitely interesting. I don't know why they're trying to lock her down for a demonic beast, because she's not necessarily like, I mean, her passive and everything is just kind of for whatever. Like, I don't know, she doesn't really scream demonic beast battle, but now they're kind of like locking her into Nidhogg with this relic, which is kind of unfortunate. It's also kind of interesting that they're, you know, it's a goddess sort of like support relic for the demonic beast. So I didn't really think that, you know, goddesses would be that great for this, but who knows? Maybe with Mael and a decent goddess team with this relic, we might see a really good goddess team for Nidhogg in general, because, I mean, the goddesses do a pretty good job of buffing each other, so that's kind of interesting. And then on the other side, we have Mono, who increases the damage dealt by allies of the 7 catastrophe characters by 5% for each ally from the 7 catastrophes participating in battle, which doesn't really seem good. It seems very supporty. I don't know. I think this might be a big swing and a miss for her, because she has a lot of potential. This New Year's one is like just on the verge of actually being pretty good, but I haven't really seen anybody use her since her release, and with this relic being kind of lackluster, I don't know whether this is really even going to bring her back, which is kind of unfortunate, because she's kind of a cool character, so kind of sad to see, to be honest. There's a couple of new quality of life changes, a couple of new bundles and stuff like that. We are getting some new events, of course, or well, I say new, but they're kind of just bringing some stuff back. We get 200 free gems from a login event, which is really nice. That's also where you're going to be getting the tickets from another login event. The special missions are giving a free multi on the banner and a UR pendant, which is nice. We're getting a Angel's Grace sort of thingy. They've done a couple of these in the past. Basically just going to be like passive boosts and stuff like that you get, which I kind of like these. I think these actually are kind of nice, just a little boost. Card flipping event, which is cool, whatever. You do get a free haircut for Mael, and it's literally Estarosa's hair, but it's white because he's Mael now, which I think is a cool haircut. I think I'll probably end up using that one. We are getting event boss Abel. I can't remember his name is translated differently on Global. I don't remember him being called Abel, but I could be wrong on that. But we get a free outfit piece for him as well. So he's basically going to start with all 5 cosmetic pieces, like already in, like, able to be had. So that's actually really nice. You get a couple of extra materials and stuff like that. A couple of the Power Rangers outfits are being returned. There is a new Underground Labyrinth with Season 3, and I'm not exactly sure what these like monsters that they're showing are, but I can only assume they might be bosses or just like new enemies for this, you know, new labyrinth in general, which seems cool. I think they're really trying to balance the labyrinth out as much as possible, which I do like the labyrinth, so I'm kind of hoping that they can kind of get it into a good spot where it's actually really fun and not as much RNG. But obviously the whole game is kind of built on RNG, so they're never going to be able to eliminate that 100%. But same sort of materials that we normally get. There is a new card right here with the season shop and a couple of other like whatever materials. There's a box that you can get which has a chance to pull a couple of different items in that. Fort Solgris dungeon, of course, festival, or the King exchange shop thing. The normal sort of boosts that we normally get. We're getting lucky bags. We are getting a new Hawk Pass, but we're always a month behind on Hawk Passes with Global. So they are getting the Escanor outfit, but we will be getting the Demon Cusack set. So, all right, that's kind of interesting, I guess. They're increasing the ads, so that way you can actually watch more ads for more rewards. They're doing a village donation event and a new battle event. They're also adding, or they're changing this bundle that you could buy for Demonic Beast materials to where it's going to have Nidhogg stuff, because I think I skipped over it, but there is a new bundle that you can buy to get, maybe, I don't know where it's at, actually. I thought it was up here with bundles, but I don't see it. They're basically adding a Nidhogg bundle that you can buy to get all of the Nidhogg materials, of course, because they normally always end up doing that. But yeah, with Freya getting a relic and the Nidhogg being so hard at the moment, I might actually end up buying that one. I don't normally try to. I try to just play the actual game because it's a lot more fun that way. But yeah, pretty interesting patch notes. That's pretty much the gist of the entirety of the thing. New character seems pretty good. He doesn't seem like overly broken. I'll have to wait and see tomorrow once new videos and stuff like that come out from the actual JP players and everything. But I don't know. I definitely want to see some gameplay of him, but let me know what your thoughts and opinions on the character are. I think that he might not have lived up to the hype that people had set for Mael, because everybody was super excited for him. But I'm definitely happy to see that the Angel team is probably going to come back into the meta with this and hopefully give a little bit more diversity. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.